Gotham must be burned to the ground.
There's a time-honored tradition of Batman stories paying tribute to the otherworldly horror works of H.P. Lovecraft, dating back to the introduction of Arkham Asylum in 1974. One such example was Hellboy creator Mike Mignola and Richard Pace when they skillfully mined that connection in their 2001 Elseworlds comic miniseries, Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham. And now, its faithful animated movie adaptation offers a genuinely terrifying spin on the Dark Knight and his friends and enemies.
I can't pretend to know exactly what I'm about to face, but I do know that I must stop it.
Set in the 1920s, Doom doesn't slow its pace from the moment it opens, as Bruce Wayne and his ragtag crew investigate the failed Cobblepot Antarctic expedition and are attacked by mutated penguins. The film, like the comic it's based on, is designed for fans who don't need introductions to the huge cast of characters, ranging from Dick Grayson to Kirk Langstrom, and can just appreciate the way they've been altered to fit the pulp horror setting. Anyone else might feel a bit like they've showed up to a test without doing the homework. If you're coming from the comic, you might notice that a few explanations have been added to the film, though they feel superfluous, like noting that Barbara Gordon has become a famous oracle.
Spirit, we come to us now.
Anyone who knows the name Oracle would likely immediately understand the clever way the story riffs on that title. A few characters have been combined to get the comic story to fit into a tight 90-minute runtime, though the biggest modification has been diversifying Batman's allies to provide a bit of counterbalance to the Orientalist villains and Lovecraft's racism. Lucius Fox is inserted into the story, though his comments about the discrimination he faces running Bruce's affairs, combined with the decision to trade out Tim Drake for Kylie Kane as a version of Batgirl Cassandra Cain, does undermine the film's ending. The art is less stylized than the comics, hewing closer to the style of Bruce Timm's Batman the Animated Series, but with some of the too sharp edges found in the modern computer-animated DC animated works. Still, the numerous fights are excellently choreographed, particularly the especially monstrous versions of Poison Ivy and Killer Croc. The imagery is also hauntingly disturbing in quieter moments, like an eldritch horror lurking below the ice, or an utterly hideous and tragic version of Two-Face.
Magicians don't spill.
While the recent run of live-action DC movies has proved largely disappointing, the animated films have been a bright spot, and within them, Doom is the best since Justice League Dark Apocalypse War reset the DC animated movie universe in 2020.
Our only option is to destroy Darkseid.
Like the other standalone alternate universe films, Batman Gotham by Gaslight and Justice League Gods and Monsters,
We could get a lawyer, or we can beat the hell out of them.
Doom is free to imagine new paths for its characters and leave a heavy body count without worrying how it will impact future stories, and it uses that liberty to great effect. Doom also has similarities to Matt Reeves' The Batman, which was not a disappointment, in that it fuses its noir sensibilities with the Lovecraftian cliché of investigators who delve into mysteries that, if solved, may save the world but will certainly doom them personally. Honoring Batman's skill as a detective rather than just a physically fit rich guy helped make The Batman one of the best adaptations of the character on film. And that same approach also works perfectly here, as Bruce uses steampunk gadgetry to search for evidence while also beating up dirty cops. Like Reeves' Gotham, this version of the city is rotten to the core, subject to a deep corruption tied to the Waynes' past. That aspect of the story deals heavily with Oliver Queen, who was a highlight of the original comic. Here, he's given an expanded role and voiced by Christopher Gorham, who played Barry Allen in several previous DC animated films.
Gotham's always had more than our fair share of wingnuts.
Gorham shows off his experience by seamlessly transitioning Oliver from a Teddy Roosevelt-style rich boy turned big game hunter to a drunken wreck struggling with how to deal with the sins of his father to actually becoming something of a hero.
It's a cult that has long ties to Gotham.
Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham is a treat for Batman fans, putting a suitably horrific Lovecraftian spin on his allies and enemies that brings out some of the best parts of The Dark Knight while heavily emphasizing the dark part. While not all the tweaks to the original comic story are for the best, this largely faithful adaptation delivers plenty of unsettling horror, well-done action scenes, and detective-driven twists. For more, check out our reviews of Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Okay, I feel like maybe I should be writing all this down.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Where are we?
And for everything else, stick with IGN.